Yeah, welcome. St. Louis Syndicate's back. I'm Nate. He's Brandon. We are the Syndicate. Brandon, what do you think of our new intro music?
It's pretty sweet. Got to have a little bit of blues from coming from St. Louis.
Yeah, you are with the St. Louis Syndicate, and we are jamming out. Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. Brandon, I feel like it's been forever since we've sat and talked. I mean, we've talked because we're in St. Louis, but these other
Right.
guys, they haven't listened to us. They haven't heard all of our great stories and all of our BS that we've got to cover.
That's for sure. Now, we had to take a little break, let everybody get baseball out of their system so we could get back to football.
Well, as a Cardinal fan, that had to get out
Yes.
of our system fast. That was rough.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say,
there was a second there.
those over-under plays, I'm still on them. Those bets I gave
Yeah.
everybody, I'm right there. I'm thinking I'm going to cash better than 60%. So just remember, we're cashing tickets in St. Louis.
Exactly.
So last time we talked, Brandon, you were a new dad. Tell us, how much sleep are you getting? What is your what's it like with Ellis?
Luckily, getting what other than working, the little boy, he does all the sleeping. He goes to bed, and unless he loses his pacifier in the middle of the night, dude just sleeps all night. But yeah, every once in a while, you start screaming, you go in there, and you end up in the dark, fumbling around under a crib, trying to find a invisible piece of plastic to give back to the baby. I'm this close to nailing a bucket of them to the wall so that I just can hand him a fresh one.
Hey, just walk in
Because
a
I got
bucket
these.
pacifier.
Yeah. It seems, I have two dogs. One of them just loves holding these pacifiers. If he goes in there every morning and searches for a dropped one, so he can just run to the other end of the house and hide and just hold it in his mouth until somebody figures it out and makes him give it up. It's chaos. He's not even trying to eat them. But if I just had a bucket of them, you can just go in there, hand him another one in the morning, just kind of sweep under the crib and knock all the ones that he spit out throughout the night and put them back in the dishwasher to get cleaned up.
That's fantastic. Oh my god, I like the idea of the bucket, man. It's been a long time since I've had to deal with pacifiers. Mine drops his car keys in the middle of the night, kicks it under his bed, and then gets up to go to school. It's like, I don't know where my keys are, Dad. I'm like, well, if you wouldn't fall asleep with them in your pocket. It's very similar to a pacifier for a 17-year-old.
Seems like it's the same thing, just a new object.
Yes,
You
new
know,
object. It's always
they're,
something.
they're just they're just losing the newest thing that's very important to them all the way through to adulthood.
Very true. As we are the same. Salute. You understand what's important
Yes.
at the onset. Here we are. So it's football season. We're fired up. Brandon Bierman made us pick, like in the middle of the summer, these picks. I mean, it's like, what are you doing, Eric? He's like, hey, you guys got to get these picks in for the Legends. And we're like, okay, we'll get them in. And he calls, you guys didn't turn your picks in. I'm turning them in. I promise you. I'm trying to make the most educated pick so our fan base knows who to go with. So let's cover those picks for the Legends just a little bit.
Exactly.
Let's talk college. What do you think about that?
I love
College football.
I can't wait.
It's the big game this weekend coming up. I mean, could you start off with a better game, Texas, Ohio State? I mean,
No, I am
close.
so excited.
2-point line right now, I believe. Arch Manning, the defending champion Ohio State with their new quarterback coming in. Can Ryan Day and crew do it? What are your thoughts?
I went Texas. I think that getting some points with the number one ranked team is the way to kick it off. I think it's gonna be a hard one. It's gonna be difficult going into somebody else's very famous stadium and dealing with it. But I think with that 2 point protection, they can still lose the game on the last second something. And I just think it's gonna be a close one.
I 100% agree. Except I don't think it's going to be as close as you think. I think Texas is going
No?
to take care of business, and it's very difficult to go into the horseshoe and win. It's very
Yeah.
difficult, but I really see Texas as just being a little bit better overall seasoning. The players coming back. You and I have talked a little bit about this, about the not necessarily the, I don't know what the word is for it, the stability score or something like that, but it's more of,
Yeah.
how these teams are early in the season based on coaching, returning starters, veterans, transfer portal guys. And Texas just didn't have as much turnover. Yes, they lost Ewers. Yes, they lost some key components, but as did Ohio State. Ohio State really lost a lot of good, talented players, including their quarterback. And while Ewers left, I think everybody thought Arch was the move anyway. So I really feel they have a significant edge here. I'm saying more than a touchdown win in the horseshoe,
Oh.
more than a touchdown. And I'm really disappointed that Bill doesn't have the Harper out yet, because I would probably have to put at least half my stake on Texas in this one.
Well, we'll know Saturday afternoon
Yes.
if it's lucky that we didn't get started yet.
It's probably really good for me because I have these hunches, like 3 times a year. And whenever you get them week one, it's usually a bad idea to play it. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
smack.
or yeah. Well, look, it's one of those things that Texas should be, if they're going to be as good as they think they're going to be. This should be where we see it start.
Yeah.
Just because Ohio State choked against Michigan and then got pissed and went on a run should not just default carry into the next season and go, hey, we think they're just going to reload. All these fans still hate this coach
Oh,
and want him gone if he can't beat Michigan this year.
got to beat
So
Michigan.
it's an entirely different situation there than it is in Texas, where everybody's rowing in the same direction. So,
Thus is the
you
nature
know,
of college football. I mean, as I sit here,
for
and
sure.
right up here to my right is my Missouri
Yes.
Tiger banner, because my daughter goes there and plays softball, by the way. But if Eli Drinkwitz can't beat Kansas, I don't care
Yeah.
how good he finishes in the SEC. There's going to be boosters calling for his head.
Yeah. You got to beat your rivals.
That's just how it is. College football, it makes it unique,
Yep.
special.
Yeah.
So, great game. Looking forward to it. Texas, Ohio State. But neither of us have them as national champions in our Legends pick.
We don't. No.
We both went
A couple of
SEC
SEC
school.
homers.
Yeah, that's kind of us, right? Hanging on the wall behind us, right? I do have a Notre Dame sign over my head, but we're SEC guys through and through for the most part. So tell me about Georgia.
Yeah. No, I think that, like you talked about with the stability, that they are turning over some players, obviously, but to have that same leadership that has just been trucking along this entire time, while we turn over at some of the other best picks, best odds, um, and the SEC kind of falls back. And they go, hey, they haven't won in a couple of years. These other guys, even though there's lots of resetting and turmoil and rookies coming in and all that sort of stuff, we're just going to take priors and just roll them forward. And I think anybody who's overlooking Georgia just being a powerhouse again is missing the boat, at least for the odds that are out there that exist. They seem like the path through all of this.
Yeah, history tells us in the SEC that these top teams, Georgia, Bama, they just reload. They don't necessarily, it's back like Nebraska in the 80s. They
Sure.
didn't. They just never faltered. They just reloaded. Now, eventually, Goliath falls. We all know that it happens. I don't think it's Georgia's time yet. There's a lot of people that are predicting my national championship pick. Matter of fact, I think I might be the only legend to throw it out there. Is that I think Alabama is going to resurge and reassert some of its dominance. You don't have the top recruiting classes. You don't have top incoming transfer portal players. And the players that they did lose did not feel as impactful. Potentially, I did a little research on it. Bill challenged me to do that when we were on the anniversary podcast. So I did do a little research, and I do like the way Alabama stacks up as far as their transfer portal prospects go. But what I do think is that those players don't know how to lose. They were trained to win. They played at top high school programs and won. A lot of them played for Saban for a couple of years, and they're finishing up. They're not going to go off with a whimper. They're an SEC powerhouse, and our coaching, while new, is coming back in and able to actually dictate the way he wants his practices now. He has a year of experience under his belt with Bama. He had Washington in the playoffs before that. I see no reason why Bama is not back in the playoffs, and I see no reason why Bama is not competing head-to-head with Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, down into the finals. So Alabama it is for me.
Yeah, makes sense. And
We'll see.
interestingly enough, in the same vein, the only other person that in the Legends went away from the triumvirate of Ohio State, Penn State, and Texas was Ken taking Clemson, which is kind of the same
Yep.
story. Hey, we've been consistent. We're building the team with one viewpoint, and those three teams seem like they are hanging out there as people that have been there before.
Yeah.
That that coaching team, we know how to do it. We just have to get the rosters all situated, dealing with this new NIL stuff. And it seems like those are the three that, in my mind, would be the ones to be looking towards.
Yeah, I love it. So that makes it exciting. So thank you, Bierman, for making us pick so early. You also made us pick our NFL picks early. Now, this is where I'm going to waver just a little bit. But, Brandon, we're going to talk briefly about our picks. I have mine written down. I assume you have yours in front of you. We'll go through them fairly quickly. This is not going to be a super long video. We want to keep it short and sweet. Kind of where we're at. I'm going to go division winners first from the NFC. For me, I'm packing the Eagles, the Bucks, the Lions, and the Rams. With the Eagles being the clear class of the NFC right now. And for me, I think the Rams are the team that challenge them out of those four. I like the Lions a lot. The Bucks, I'm not a strong believer. I just think they're going to win the division. But if I had to pick a team to challenge the Eagles, it will be the Rams this year if Stafford can stay healthy.
So I'm off of those almost all the way down. I'm with you on the Bucks, but I went Commanders, Packers, and Niners in the other three divisions. I think the Niners are the surprise team that, like we're talking about with Georgia and Bama and Clemson, that hey, they're going to get back to letting their coaching staff do what they do, and if the health comes back, they have such an easy schedule. And I think they just kind of get that upper hand because of not having to play as many good people.
Yeah, I no problems there at all. I mean, that's definitely a clear strategy and something we're probably going to have to think about when we start talking to people about survivor picks. When we talk about that strength of schedule. So stay tuned for our survivor picks. Wild card, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't even know if you have it down. I do like the Packers. Soft spot for them. I do like the Commanders. I hate that I have to say that out loud as a Cowboy fan. My sleeper wild card team that isn't on many people's radars is actually the Bears. I'm going to roll with our new head coach at the Bears. I'm going with Luther Burden, the St. Louis boy, adding a little bit of a depth of receiver dimension. Him and Rome out there running around those routes with Keenan. Nice, solid running game, defense coming in check. And I've watched a little bit of just, talking heads and how this offense is designed and clicking a little bit closer to how the Lions ran it. And so I'm gonna pick the Bears to sneak in. Now that's 3 teams from the North getting in the playoffs, but I don't think that there's anybody out of the other 2 that are going to be knocking on the door. Just my sleeper.
Interesting. I would probably, um, thinking about the wild card kind of for the first time. I think that the Eagles and the Rams, and I think that my last one, I'm going to be looking towards the Falcons
That's fair.
to with the Bucks kind of beat up on that NFC South
Yep.
and have a shot to steal some wins and Penix play as well as we think he's has the potential to, and use all these offensive weapons that he has at his disposal. So I think that last wild card spot, I think that would be the one I would reach for.
Yeah. The weapons in Atlanta are ridiculous. It's getting to the point where the weapons are so deep that they're starting to age out. Like Kyle Pitts is now pushing 5 or 6 years, and we keep going. Man, so they got Kyle Pitts, and we're like, he's been around 6 years now. It's starting to age out. Drake London is getting to his 4th year. We still have Bijan. We still have those guys. I kind of like the Falcons too, and Penix might be the key. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll make it
it's
this
an
year or
interesting
not.
one to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bouncing
But
over to
that's kind of
bouncing over to the AFC.
oh,
Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, and I'm making a switch. I picked the Texans, but I'm actually switching over to the Jags. I'm actually thinking that the Jags are that team that could actually go from the worst to first slot this year. With a healthy T-Law, Travis Hunter's going to make a change. They've picked up the right people. They've got a sound running game in place. If their coaching doesn't fumble, they have a chance, and that's all I'm asking for. Is just give me a chance.
that was the closest one for me. Like the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs are all, they just feel like there would have to be wild injuries to not have those 3 come out of their divisions at this point. And I like Stroud bouncing back and them figuring out what went wrong last year and what they can incorporate from year 1. But I've always had that soft spot for Sunshine. And if he's got a coach now that can show him how to run an offense, it feels very plausible that they unlocked this. And, for me, that would probably be one of those wild card teams that I look at, Bengals, Jaguars, and probably, as much as I don't like it, because I think everybody is really just picking them to shit on the Chiefs, it does seem like the Broncos are ready to get over the hump and at least get into the playoffs. I find it laughable that everybody wants to, spend their cash trying to pick them as the division champ. But to get into the playoffs, they got the right coach. He knows what they're doing. It seems like it's time for this to kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, I no problem at all there. I'm all over Cincinnati, with the exception of my stupid belief in the Harbaughs and Lamar. Cincy would be a nice sleeper for me to go all the way, if they can stay healthy and if their defense can wake up. So I'm on the Cincy train, and whether you believe it or not, I'm right with you on my wild card. Actually, I've got 2 wild cards from the West. I'm on Denver because I think Bo Nix is it, and I think that Sean Payton can do it. But I also am on the other Harbaugh brother. I think he builds teams the right way. He builds around the run. He moves to play action. Herbert is going to take a step under him at some point in time. Harbaugh gets the best out of his guys. They've got decent running game. I love this Omarion Hampton kid out of North Carolina. I don't like that they lost Slater. I understand that's a problem, but that's why I'm picking him as my last wild card sleeper. That's 3 from the same division again. But who am I going to pick? Rodgers and the Steelers? I'm not sure
it's hard.
Vrabel and the Patriots are ready to take the step. May's close.
Nah.
If I have to pick between Vrabel and May and Herbert and Harbaugh, I'm going Herbert and Harbaugh for that last wild card spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there's more seasoning there. Um, you know, speaking of, you know, er, too early in the one thing that jumps out at me, if somebody wants to take a flyer, is to think about Tennessee.
Hmm.
If it turns out that Cam Ward can really sling the ball at the NFL level, right now we're staring at like plus 8,000 for Tennessee to win the conference.
Yeah,
It's one of those ones that's sitting there and it goes, yeah, they seem to have some structural issues, but sometimes the quarterback just kind of fixes almost everything in one fell swoop. And I
CJ
don't think
Stroud.
you need to be talking about that. Yeah, something like that, where you go, we thought Houston was going to be a chore. Stroud comes in and look, they got bounced before they won the conference, but they were like a game away. And when you're staring at these numbers and going, the only other teams that are above 6,000 are the Jets, Cleveland, New Orleans, and Tennessee. Tennessee to me is a wild outlier of those four teams. The other teams seem like they have structural issues going on where Tennessee could
Yeah.
unlock a lot of things with the right number one pick quarterback. So,
I,
that's one that just kind of jumped off the page to me. Thought
yeah.
I'd throw it out there.
No, I
We may
like.
find out in week one that he isn't ready, but
It's going to take him a few weeks, but the kid's got talent. I mean, he is loaded with it. And if you've seen some of the balls he's thrown in
yeah,
preseason, he's got the right touch.
yeah,
He's got the right feel. Man, I don't know if he's got the weapons around him to carry him that far, but I think he's okay.
yeah. Well, and sometimes it just works out where the right quarterback unlocks some other people.
Yeah.
So,
Nope,
you
that's
know,
true.
I
So one,
wouldn't I wouldn't go putting huge bets on it, but
nah.
but it's an interesting one to sprinkle a little bit if you've kind of been looking at it.
So here's a way too early prediction that means nothing to anybody except the fact that next year, when you and I do our first video, I want to remember if this is true or
Yeah.
not, okay?
Okay.
The 2026 starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is Arch Manning.
I don't think it's going to happen. That there's been a lot of talk already that he is not coming out.
Unless old man Archie's team gets the number one pick because the Saints are atrocious.
Yeah, no, they
And,
are.
and they're starting Spencer Rattler by choice.
No, I definitely looking at the over unders.
Number one pick in the
Their
draft goes.
4.5 is one of my favorite unders. Like I definitely think that they are right there, them or the Browns to finish with the first pick.
Let's just be clear. I
But
feel that the Manning family can dictate things. And by them coming out and saying Arch is not going to play, very similar to Eli, Arch is not coming out this year, there will be an exception to the rule if it's hometown New Orleans backyard Saints.
it very well may be. It just I don't remember who I was listening to. It might have been Todd McShay that was talking about it in the last week or two and just said that like, hey, this is the feedback that he's been getting, and that when you look back at what Eli and Peyton did with going to college and setting up to play all the way through their senior year so that they could succeed at that level
Yeah,
and fully grow their own skills, that I go, all right, that makes a bunch of sense, because
it
my mind
does.
was the exact same spot that you go, hey, if you can go home
home
and play in New Orleans,
a lot of
and
pressure.
they can prove they have a plan, then that's a great spot to go to.
A lot of pressure, though. A lot of pressure
But
on the kid.
they may just leave them in the wind because look, if New Orleans wins 2 or 3 games this year and they don't have a elite quarterback to go grab, they're just going to have a bad next year as well. I mean, like, you can only fix this so many ways. And
Yeah.
like, unless it turns out
Yeah.
that one of these QBs, kind of play over their head, or, somebody that does come out is like a locked, because I could see New Orleans also going, if Arch plays what people are hoping he does this year, and then says, I'm not coming out, I'm going back, that you go, all right, well, let me grab a defensive guy,
Yeah.
a lineman, offensive or defensive, with that first pick, or trade out and grab some picks,
To
either
help
which
build.
way, and go, we're going to build for next year. And look, this is the reality. He's got to come out now. And as long as the family is not going, hey, we refuse to play there,
Which could.
I could. They could. I think that with the way that their family, looks at that city, that it does set up well, that as long as he wants to play there, that I don't think anybody would try to dissuade him from it, as long as the team can explain this is what the plan is.
Yeah.
We're going to stop floundering. We're going to get done. I mean, look, we all knew that this was coming for New Orleans. They went, hey, we're just going to keep pushing cap money until we're screwed. And now they're screwed. So you got to eat it for a couple of years to get out of this cap problem. So, we're staring at the Rams are going to be the same way eventually. When Stafford's done, they're going to have to eat all this cap money at some point and go,
they're going to have
we gotta get kicked in the teeth, and then restart the cycle. And so, hopefully their fans are aware and are not being delusional about bouncing back, in a year or two. But I think it's, one of those perfect sort of sports things for him to end up where his grandfather played.
Oh yeah.
Is wild.
We'll
So
see.
I agree
2026.
that one of the next 2 years we're staring at exactly what you're saying.
All right. Man, I don't want to wait 2 years. Jesus me. There won't be anybody listening to our podcast by then. They'll be like, these two are jokers, man. They got no clue. Unbelievable. All right. So, real quick, we kind of talked about it. Who do you have as your Super Bowl matchup, and who's winning it?
Chiefs over Niners. We're going for the three-peat.
Okay, I like it. Chiefs over Niners. I currently have Ravens over Rams. I believe it's the Rams I picked. That's who I think I picked. Is that who I picked?
You got Ravens over Eagles.
Ravens over Eagles
on the sheet.
Ravens over Eagles. I do. So I'm still not changing it, even though Bierman forced me into an early pick. I'm going to stay with Eagles. There's no reason why the Eagles aren't there in the Super Bowl again. But I think it's Lamar's time. Good God, let somebody else play. If it's not Allen, if it's not Lamar, let's roll with it. My heart is with the Cowboys, and my heart is with the Chiefs. Having the most fun with those guys. Swifty Nation, I support you. Congratulations, Travis and Taylor.
Yes.
If you get called out on a podcast for to get to marry somebody, can we call you out on ours? We would like an invite to the wedding. We think we would go as wedding crashers. We would have a lot of fun, and we promise you that we would make Jason and Travis proud of how we behaved if you would just get us an invite to the wedding. So
exactly.
Can somebody put this on TikTok and get it to Taylor for us, please? Brooke, where we at? Give me the Swifties. All right, guys. We got a lot of good stuff going on. We are the St. Louis Syndicate. We're going to come to you every week. We're going to talk about some of our favorite NFL picks, but we're going to bring our top segment, which we know you guys love, about Survivor. We're going to spend some time breaking down those teams. We're going to give you guys some cool picks and plays this year. Some of the goals for our Survivor look is really going to be tied to, the top plays. We're going to talk about safe plays. We're going to talk about risk and reward plays. We're going to talk about our no plays and then our locks of the week. So we're going to talk about that in our Survivor book. We're going to talk about all the Sandman games. The St. Louis Syndicate is actually sponsoring the Survivor this year, Brandon. So we are the sponsors
Absolutely.
of Survivor. So I'm not 100% certain what that means, but it means that whoever wins has to give the sponsor at least $50 to cover our entry fees that we lose. But that's what sponsorship means, right?
Right.
We're gonna talk about our guillotine league that we're in. We're gonna talk about Brandon and I are playing in together as the St. Louis Syndicate in the big league. What's it?
Fall City Super Contest.
Fall City Super Contest. It's like the circus.
Yeah.
Contest or the
the
Westgate Super Contest.
Pick 5 any 5.
Pick 5 any 5. We're going to talk about those picks. We're going to talk about what we're bringing to you guys. We're going to expand, right? We're going to come to you guys on YouTube. We're going to come to you guys on Facebook. We're going to come to you guys on TikTok, Instagram. Get our clips, get our picks, get them anywhere. Drop us a line, say hello. We are looking forward to spending this football season with you. We're excited about it. Brandon, anything?
Yeah, follow Sandman Sports everywhere.
Sandman Sports.
No, I'm excited for it. Anybody who hasn't signed up, look at that super contest closely. It is one of the most difficult contests and one of the most fun, especially when you get around to the end of the year and you're trying to figure out how to position your picks against the people that are around you and in front of you. It is a tremendous amount of fun.
It is. I can't wait. I'm excited to be your partner this year. You've done it a lot in the past. You've done the Ben Harper.
Yes.
2-time Ben Harper champion. Brandon right here on the St. Louis Syndicate. I can't seem to crack the top
We're
5.
Shooting for number 3.
He's the 2-time champion.
We're going to figure it out this year. I'm coming back for my 3-peat.
My goal is I'm
right
going to
along.
win guts. I'm going to win guts finally. Man, I can't. That's my favorite game, and I can't win it ever. I get through week 7. Done.
It is so much fun. I cannot wait for it to start next week.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And, I'd be all over Texas. I'd be on the positive side, too. Too bad it doesn't start this week, Brandon.
Oh, that would be chaos.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, man.
That would be chaos.
Yes.
It would be awesome. Nothing like just lighting it on fire. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening. We hope to see you all season. We are the St. Louis Syndicate. I'm Nate. He's Brandon. Good luck with your picks, guys.
Cheers.